It was early one morning, and I was on my way to school. Well, that was the morning that I broke my mother's rule.
I'm Edward Lawrence Reed. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, 1929. My father was a chauffeur and a waiter. He decided to come to California in 1935, and 2 years later he sent for my mother and I. We came to California and we lived in Watts, 103rd, 10321 Grape Street, and that's where I grew up. I'm named for Edward VII, former King of England, well, the abdicated King of England, and T.E. Lawrence of Arabia. She had delusions of grandeur, you know.
We, baby, that's what I say. You sure look good to me.
This is the 1930s, you know. America was not a kind place for black folks. And the school I went to, Jordan High School in Watts, you know, I wanted to study elocution. I was singing in the choir, I was doing the talent shows and stuff, but I wanted to learn to speak. I wanted to debate. I wanted to be eloquent. And they said, you need to go to shoe shop. So I said, okay, bye, and ran away and joined the military. Because, and you know, there was a lot of other stuff, just a lot of humiliation and craziness, and I didn't like nobody. Except Charles. I like Charles Mingus, and his sister lived across the street from us. And he used to be over there babysitting. He was a big guy, and he carried that bass, man. Everywhere he went, you know, you never saw him without that instrument. And he was nice to me. He let me hang out while he played music. He played records. He got me to hear chords in music. He got me to hear the melody in changes, you know. He was my friend. We learn to be who we are in community and family, informed and driven by culture. Pinkola Estes says that culture is the family of the family. So my character was shaped in community and family, and I look at how unkind it was. People said stuff like, stop asking so many questions. People will think you're stupid. Why don't you know that? Everybody knows that. What's wrong with you? Were you behind? You must have been behind the door when the brains were passed out. They say shit like that. So you go around feeling like a fool all the time, you know, and alone. I listen to my mother when she's angry, and she was angry a lot because she didn't want to be married to my father. She didn't want to be married. She wanted to study opera. Freaked her mother out. Her mother was a slave, had been born on a slave plantation.
Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends on you. I never mind the rain from the skies if I can find the sunshine in your eyes. Sometimes I hate you, sometimes I love you. But when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do?
In that, you know, all of that discomfort of the school system, and the war was beginning, and all those people came from the South, and we didn't get along too well in the beginning. It was just uncomfortable, man, being a kid for me at that time. And so getting away, and plus my mother lost 4 children in childbirth, and she was determined that she was going to keep me alive if she had to strangle me to death, you know. So we struggled, and oh yeah, and I was supposed to go to Stanford and become an attorney. She was so heavy about it that I showed her. I went to the penitentiary 4 times, you know. Well, 2 convictions and 2 parole violations in and out of that place. In the nut house 8 times and 25 drug programs. So, you know, I wasn't having much fun.
I never mind the rain from the sky. If I mind the sunlight.
Well, my first drink, I thought that was the stupidest thing in the world to drink. You know, they said, we're going over Sam's house and get drunk. And I said, this is stupid. I don't want to get drunk. They said, well, if you ain't going to drink, split. Okay, man, I'll drink. That first drink I took was the most dramatic thing ever happened to me. That drink changed me. I felt inferior. I felt worthless. I felt stupid. And when I took that drink, I was a genius. And I didn't care what nobody said, you know. I wasn't worried whether they liked me or not. They better try to like me so I'll like them. So, you know, it was like that booze turned me into a monster. But then I drank until I was unconscious. They had to call the paramedics. But I never stopped trying to drink it. And I'd shoot dope, I'd get drunk and then shoot dope and fall out. Not just once, but over and over. I was miserable. It was about misery. It was about fear and shame. It was about guilt. My mother died, and she wasn't cold. And I took her wedding band and her engagement ring off her finger and went to the pawn shop so I could get loaded. And I hated myself, you know. I thought, you can't get no lower than that. Well, you know, it was hideous. And that was all I could do. I couldn't stop. And it broke my heart that I couldn't stop, because I didn't want to do it. 25 drug programs, I was serious. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't stop.
What finally did it for you?
I started seeing that I had choices, you know, and that what was going on was a consequence of my choices. I wasn't a victim. I wasn't doing it because of somebody else. I was doing it because I didn't know who I was, or what my purpose was, or what I wanted, or where I was going. I had no intention for anything real, you know, except to get loaded. And when I started understanding, if I have an intention to do something else or be something else, maybe, and if I can accept everything I am, then maybe I can, no, not maybe, I can stop this. When I went to AA, one of the first things that happened to me, this guy gets up and tells this story, and I thought it was a setup, because he's telling my story. And I didn't understand that we all tend to process emotion pretty much the same way. I don't care where we come from, what we look like, what our gender, what our national origin. No matter who we are, our humanity demands that we process emotion pretty much the same way. What do I need to do? What's my purpose here? I'm on this planet I've been given talent and ability. What am I to do with it? I'm the one that has to choose.
That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when
Some dear friends I saw, really changed their lives. And I saw so many die. And I keep promising myself I'm going to start creating a memorial for all of those folks. Frank Morgan, man. What a fantastic player he was. What a nice guy he was. And he spent 30 years struggling with that drug, doing time. And we were robbed of all the music that he could have recorded for us. And then look what we did to Billie Holiday. We arrested her on a drug charge while she's in bed, man, dying. That's the kind of people we are as a culture. We're very unkind and very unfeeling and very unmindful or thoughtless about what it is we're trying to do. These songs help me let go of all of the heartbreak. They help me understand it. There's that powerful song, The Two Lonely People. God damn, Diane said, don't sing that no more because it's so heavy. And a Strayhorn tune, Blood Count. Oh man, he's dying. And I just feel like people have to hear that music. Because everybody we know, everybody's gonna lose everything. So what are we talking about? We got to acknowledge all of that, We need to get our heads out the sand. We've been taught to be afraid of the end of us. And we need to be celebrating. We're only visiting here. The Peruvian shaman says, you're a visitor to this planet, to this body. The gold you seek, the house you build, are only to keep weaving the experience called you. And that's my job. I gotta have all of the feelings of that experience, everything. I need to embrace it. I need to acknowledge it. I need to sing about it.
daydream, I walk alone on land, building a castle there for me and my love to share. Don't know the time, Lordy, I'm here today. Sun in the sky while I'm moving around in daydream.
How do you separate the present from the past? How do you deal with all the things you thought would last that didn't last? With bits of memory scattered here and there, you look around and don't know where to start. And that's sad. That's sad. And until you start to get clear about what's missing, what you lost, you never find out where you're going or what you want or what has happened to you and how your character's been shaped by all that. So that's just one song, and then that, what is it? Here's to life.
No complaints, no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. 'Cause I have learned that what you give is all you get. So give it all you got. So here's to life and every joy it brings. here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams.
I have to sing these songs, and I have to tell people that they can be more than they ever dreamed.
May all your
And that
storms be weathered.
you don't ever give up, and it's never too late. I've done it. I've seen it. I've lived it.
Get better. Here's to life. Here's to love. And here's to you. May all your storms be weathered, and all that's good get better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you.
Where do you start? How do you separate the present from the past? How do you deal with all the things you thought would last that didn't last? With bits of memory scattered here and there, I look around and don't know where to start. Which books are yours? Which tapes and dreams belong to you? And which are mine?